The Springfield Washington County Chamber of Commerce has organized this, and we're glad to have our candidates here. Our moderator is Mr. Carroll Kelly, and he has a few things to kind of say before we get started.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me? You're not old enough to vote. Are there any voters out there who can hear me? One or two? Okay. Well, as long as we got at least two. All right. Now, I am the moderator. They have spelt my name on here, C-A-R-O-L. I have to go around changing that periodically. It's R-R-O-L-L. Thank you. All right. The way I have been told we are to proceed is that we are going to have an opening statement from the... It's gotten louder all of a sudden. Can more voters hear me now? Okay. There he goes again. One of you should hire him to open your... Anyway. Each candidate will be given 2 minutes to make an opening statement. Then, each candidate will be asked 2 questions by yours truly. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer each question. First candidate will make his opening statement. The second candidate will make his opening statement. Somebody's got to go next. The second candidate will get the 2 questions. Then we'll come back and give the first candidate 2 questions. They're not all the same questions. There will be a little opportunity for thinking on your feet. Now, we have a timekeeper over here who will measure and ensure that everybody gets their 2 minutes, but not more than 2 minutes. Now, about 10 seconds before your 2 minutes is up, a small bell will ring over here. When you hear the small bell, it's time to say, "Thank you, ladies and gentlemen." If you persist after the 2 minutes is up, they will turn off your microphone. If you persist after they turn off your microphone, this is Ashley Spaulding, formerly Filiatru. Miss Ashley Spaulding, formerly Filiatru's mother, is sitting right there. Miss Marlena Filiatru. If you persist beyond the 2 minutes, Miss Filiatru will leap onto the stage, grab you by the ear, and drag you off. This is a family affair. Trust me, she can do it. So, now that we've gotten the rules out of the way, I need to know who I'm supposed to introduce first. Thank you very much. Candidate number 1, by virtue of a drawing, a candidate order in which they will proceed has been chosen by a drawing, as well as the questions they will receive. Candidate number 1 is Miss Kim King, and she may now make her opening statement.
Thank you very much. We appreciate the opportunity to visit with you today. Representative Kim King is first and foremost a sinner saved by grace. Kim King has been married to Carrie King for 34 years. Kim King and Carrie King have 2 married children and 5 granddaughters. Kim and Carrie King own and operate 4 Kings Angus Cattle Company, and Kim King has a personal training business. Representative Kim King serves on the Agriculture and Small Business Committee, Economic Development Committee, and Tourism Development and Energy Committee. Representative Kim King is also the Vice Chair of the Central Kentucky Caucus. During Representative Kim King's service to Washington County, the Main Street and Robertson Building received $780,000, a grant package this year. Representative Kim King is the only candidate endorsed by the Kentucky Right to Life. Kim King worked so closely with the Kentucky Right to Life that she was asked to speak at the National Right to Life Convention in July. Kim King is the only candidate endorsed by the National Federation of Independent Business and has earned a 100% voting record for small business issues. Kim King is the only candidate endorsed by the National Rifle Association. She has earned an A rating. She has her CCDW, and she owns her own personal firearm. Representative Kim King is against special session pay for legislators when they don't do their job in regular session. Representative Kim King calls for a roll call vote for every fiscal measure so they can be held accountable. Accountability, accessibility, and transparency are very important to Representative Kim King. And I am Representative Kim King, your only conservative candidate for state representative this fall. Thank you.
So far, so good. Our timekeeper can keep time. Well, the second candidate will be given 2 minutes for an opening statement, and then we will proceed to the questions. Ms. Jacqueline Coleman is candidate 2. You may proceed.
Hello, my name is Jacqueline Coleman, and I'm your candidate for state representative in Kentucky's 55th District. I was born and raised in the big city of Bergen, Kentucky, right down the road. Grew up on a farm showing horses and playing basketball like most Kentuckians do. I'm a graduate of Mercer County High School. I went on to earn a degree in history and education from Center College and a master's degree in political science from the University of Louisville, where I also worked with the women's basketball team. Right now, I'm a current high school government teacher and basketball coach. I'm married to Chris O'Brien, who's here with us today, and together we are raising 3 children, Will, Nate, and Emma. Will is 14, Nate is 12, and Emma is 17. Emma was a little bit more of a surprise than Will and Nate because she is one of my basketball players who at one point had nowhere to go. So at that point, Emma moved into our home and became a part of our family. Chris and I put our international adoption on hold for the time being so that we could help raise Emma and give her a stable home life. I'm in this race for them, and I'm in this race for you as well. I have been endorsed by the Kentucky Family Values, by Kentucky Education Association, Better Schools Kentucky, the Kentucky Professional Firefighters, numerous labor unions who represent Kentucky's working families, and I have also earned an A rating from the NRA, which is the highest rating that any challenger can receive. Thank you.
I didn't even hear the bell ring that time. All right. Now, question number 1 goes to candidate number 2, Ms. Jacqueline Coleman. Question: how will you address the decreasing funds of the state retirement system?
I support a quality retirement system for the men and women in our public sector. 6 years ago, our legislature reformed the Kentucky retirement system. House Bill 440 and Senate Bill 2 fully funded the actuarially recommended contribution and cost of living adjustments for our retired folks in Kentucky. It also promised transparency and legislative oversight for the retirement system. I believe that we must honor our obligations to our retired people, and we have to make sure that we make that Kentucky retirement system is affordable and sustainable while keeping our promises to our public employees. I also believe that the next step in the next session should be to take a look at the teachers' retirement system as well. We need similar reforms with the teachers' retirement system. We cannot simply kick the can down the road, and we owe it to our teachers to protect their retirement as much as we owe it to all of our other public employees. Thank you.
Yo, we're back on the air. Thank you. Now, for the first question to Ms. Kim King, is not the same question. Your question: what is your stance on a proposed natural gas pipeline and the concept of eminent domain?
Thank you very much. First, I need to clarify a little bit about what my opponent said about her National Right to Life Association. It is actually an AQ rating, and the Q means all she has done is answer a paper questionnaire. There is only one candidate in this race that has an A rating, and that is Representative Kim King. And now, as far as your question about eminent domain and the natural gas pipeline, I actually, because I am your currently serving representative, I have worked on that issue for well over a year. The year prior to going into the 2014 session, I had numerous dozens and dozens of meetings with people when it affected the Anderson County portion of the old 55th District. Dozens of meetings with all of those people on the ground, and I was a primary sponsor of House Bill 60, which was in place to protect private property rights of landowners, and a co-sponsor of House Bill 31 as it went through the 2014 legislative session. I am certainly for private property rights, and as a conservative, I'm sure you would expect to do that, but I have actual real-world experience as your elected legislator in actually doing that in the Kentucky General Assembly. Thank you.
Hello. They're trying to cut me out of this thing. It's not how much they're paying me either, but oh well. Let's see. Second question for is Kim King.
Okay.
Question, what is the one thing about the current office that you would like to improve and the one thing you would like to maintain that is currently working well?
Okay, what is working very well is the constituent service aspect of my service as your representative. I have estimated about 20% of my time and effort is spent on actually drafting legislation. At least 80% of my time is working with individuals on concerns. I receive a lot of email, phone calls, people stopping me on the streets, and it is a true honor to be their advocate and their champion as we tackle specific interests and questions that they have. Whether it's a guardrail or their Social Security payment or their passport isn't coming in time, there are dozens of times every week when I am, again, championing the personal problems that my constituents have. What would I like to improve? I would like to change the direction of the Kentucky House. We have a lot of conservative legislation that just dies in the Kentucky House every year, including 10 years that we have not debated and heard a right-to-life bill in the Kentucky House. Lots of good legislation coming down from the Senate, and it comes to the House to die. And so we need to change the leadership in the Kentucky House of Representatives so that we can hear those good common sense legislative pieces of bills that will change the direction for Kentucky and lead us in a new direction. Thank you.
Thank you. For the second candidate, Jacqueline Coleman, we have the same question. What is the one thing about the current office that you would like to improve and one thing you would like to maintain that is currently working well?
One thing about the current office that I would certainly like to improve is the fact that the 55th District deserves real representation in Frankfort. In our community, we value our teachers, we value our students, our farmers, and our small business folks. And we are determined to fight the scourge of drug abuse and put in place whatever systems, tools, or laws that we can to get the job done. Unfortunately, while my opponent has created the perception of supporting these issues, she has consistently gone to Frankfort and voted against these values and efforts. If you don't believe me, you can pick up this week's edition of the Springfield Sun and see a snapshot of my opponent's voting record. I will do better. The one thing that I would like to maintain that is currently going well is the current district lines of the 55th District. It's been newly redrawn, and as someone who has family roots in Washington County, being born and raised in Mercer County, and currently living and working in Wilmore, there is no one who has a better connection to the experience, to the people, and to the places in this newly drawn district than I do. My office will be one that is professional, responsive to constituents, and above all, one that represents our values. Thank you.
And thank you all. This concludes there being no other candidates for state representative, this concludes the first round of our presentation. We will now move on to present the statements and questions of the Kentucky Court of Appeals candidates.